Today is April 11th. We are doing some sharp stats and talking to Boone about the Yankees, the New York Yankees. Let's do it. Let's talk some Yanks.
Talking Yanks with old John Boy and Jake. Recaps galore, weekly awards, stat lines, theme and hot takes. Get your Yankees news from these two fine dudes. It's time for Talking Yanks. Talking Yanks with old John Boy and Jake. Talking Yanks with old John Boy and Jake.
Hello and welcome to Talkin' Yanks, presented to you by SeatGeek, the geeks with all the seats. Over 70,000 events every single day are happening, and you can use code YANKS and get $20 off when you purchase your first ticket to one of those 70,000 events. Yankees homestand coming up. Maybe you want to go, so thank you, SeatGeek, for sponsoring this 892nd episode of Talkin' Yanks. Jake, wearing your Harrison Bader shirt.
Click that link in the description. Jim, this is a John Boy Media shirt, so they should probably go get that.
We should send one to Bader. I think he'd like it.
There's a chance. I did, Boone interview coming up. We actually haven't conducted it yet. I did think maybe when Bader's almost come back, we say, like, man, how much would you hate wearing one of Bader's shirts to Boone?
Yeah.
So we'll tee that up, but I think that's closer
outfit
to
swap with one of the guys. Who are you choosing?
I think that's probably his least favorite outfit swap on the team, easily. But yeah, I'm good. I'm excited to get some sharp stats with KT Sharp, the Queen. I think it's another positive one as we're coming off my least favorite loss of the season last night. But we can still put that in our rear view if we Baltimore it. And maybe road series this year. We lose the first game and we win the next two. That's currently the pattern we have going as of right now. So I'm hopeful for that. What do you got?
Win the series, and we're all good. I think it's my second least favorite loss of the year. That first one in Baltimore, I didn't like more. Maybe my least favorite lineup of the year.
It was eligible with that
the fact
Baltimore
that this was
loss.
A close game.
I didn't mind the Baltimore loss because they fought, they came back, and I liked that part of it. That raised it for me. But yeah,
and we were prepped about the Lions, but the lineup in Game 1 against Cleveland for Shane Bieber is almost like you're rolling the dice.
Willie Calhoun 5.
It was the first one where, like, visually, and this happened a ton, 2 years ago?
Yeah.
Last year? Just, like, visually, you're like, what?
Yeah.
Of the year. We've seen ones where they're like, oh, they're doing this and that, but this was the first, you see Gleyber first, you see Calhoun 5, and you're like, wait, what? We're doing a total funk?
Yeah. Our Jack Doyle from We Got Ice.
Yeah.
Go check them out if you haven't. He laughed twice at the start of this game. First, he hadn't been familiar with Cleveland's baseball stadium, so he saw that they basically have a giant wall in left, and he was like, what the hell?
Yeah.
Like, more people aren't mad about this? And then the second thing was the Yankees come up, and, that first inning, Gleyber, double, Judge, walk, Rizzo, line drive, Stanton, off the wall. And then Willie Calhoun came up, and he goes, what?
Yeah, it was the biggest cliff
It's
we've
an
had.
insult to, like, the top four guys in the lineup, and it's not a shot at Willie Calhoun, his first game as a Yankee.
The top four.
He's following Stanton?
The top four guys, and he did hit the ball really hard, but the top four guys, it felt like they knew, shit, we need to get something done here.
Yeah.
And they didn't do enough. Colton Brewer show, that was nice. We'll get into this later on.
Yeah.
Let's get into the sharp stat, the sharpest of stats from the queen of stats, Katie Sharp. I'm interested. I'm going to get my notes out because sometimes I'm trying to listen, but there's a lot of numbers. I like memorizing all the numbers.
Hey guys, Queen of Stats, and this week we want to talk about Gleyber Torres. And I know that everyone can see his awesome slash line, and then also he's got the 9 walks in 9 games. This is entering Monday. And last year he didn't get his 9th walk until his 49th game. So there's some of those obvious statistics, but I really want to dig into what's driving all this improvement in his hot start this season. And first of all, what I want to talk about is he's just making more contact. This year, his whiff percentage, that's swinging strikes on all pitches that he's seen, is just 19%. And last year, it was 27%. And especially, he's seen a lot of improvement against breaking pitches. Last year, he whiffed on nearly a third of all breaking pitches that he saw. This year, he's cut that in half to just 15%. So he's making a lot more contact. And it's not just more contact, it's a better contact. Now, you'll see that his average exit velo and his hard hit percentage really haven't improved from last year. But what I want to focus on is what's called sweet spot percentage. And that's classified as a batted ball hit between 8 and 32 degrees launch angle. So basically, just getting really good contact, but getting the barrel on the ball, and those are usually line drives or really hard hit balls. So this year, his sweet spot percentage is 44%. The MLB average is 33%, and last year it was 36%. So definitely an improvement there. He's getting under the ball less. He has no pop-ups yet, which we know was a problem for him in the past. And he also, really notably, he's going opposite field a lot more. More than half of his batted balls to right field have been to right field. And I know that a lot of the Yes Network analysts talk about that. When Gleyber is going right, he's going oppo. So that's really good to see there. And then the final thing I want to talk about is his two-strike approach. Now we can see he's got just 3 strikeouts in 37 plate appearances. That's entering Monday. Last year, that's an 8% strikeout rate. Last year is 23%, which is just about league average. So a huge improvement there. And the big thing for me is that he's whiffed on only 2 two-strike pitches this season. That's ridiculously low. So 3 things I think that we want to look at for Gleyber going forward is, he's making a lot more contact with the breaking pitches. Can he keep that up? He's going opposite field a lot more, and he's got a really good two-strike approach. So we'll see if he can keep that up for the rest of the season.
Hey, I loved it. I loved all the info. There was a lot to chew on. Do you remember everything she said? Can you recite it verbatim?
I do. Gleyber Torres has been off to a great start this season. He's been hitting the sweet spot a lot more, which that is important. He's obviously been taking all the walks. We heard all the stats about that, which is good too. And his chase rate is down, which is incredibly important. Gleyber Torres is also not popping out at all, which I love that anecdote by Katie. Because, you can picture a Gleyber Torres like infield pop out, and he doesn't have one of those this year. So that is really interesting. And all of the launch angle, exit velo, how he's hitting the ball, going the other way with the ball, it all makes sense in the Gleyber Torres hot start to the 23 season.
I really like the breaking pitches. The no pop-ups is good. We should quiz Boone on that. Like, do you know, does Gleyber have any pop-ups? You've been keeping track of the pop-ups?
You track pop-ups?
Whose job? I like the breaking pitches, man. Yep. A lot of guys get to the big leagues can hit fastballs. Most of them, right? They see a lot of them. But, the breaking pitches get sharper. They get more on you. And I have the month by month because it's his lowest swing and miss on breaking pitches so far. Katie said it was, where'd she have it as? I wrote it down, I think. 19%. Maybe I didn't write down the breaking ball one. But 14% swing and miss on breaking balls this month so far. Last year, his best month was also April. And it seems like every year his best month is April at not swinging and missing at breaking balls. But last year, his best month was 25% swing and miss. He's at 14. It's a big drop off. In August last year, his worst month, just for context, 42% swing and miss at the breaking balls, which wasn't his worst ever when he first joined the big leagues. It was bad. So I don't know if you're going to maintain that. That's really nice. Yeah. But if it stays, good. Looking at his yearly trends, every month it goes up, and then it came back down in September. So let's keep that low.
Yeah, and this is all piggybacking off of, again, that September last year, what Gleyber put together was really impressive, and his whole demeanor felt different, and you still see it in what's become our favorite self-applause in The Office. The cheer for me, we saw that last September. He brought it into this year. And yeah, the other things that are clearly jumping out, and I do want to say it is a 10-game sample.
Yes.
Over the month you'll get to 25. And do I think Gleyber will keep up his current AL leading 537 on base percentage? Probably not. That's Barry Bonds stuff. But it's where does all this land? And I think the part that makes it the most exciting is this. The stats don't feel sustainable. The feeling feels sustainable. Because it's a mix. We saw Gleyber jump in first pitches again. We see him take walks. He's got 10 walks and 3 strikeouts. That means you're seeing the ball really well. And I just finishing off a topic that we'll cover on Talkin' Yanks every year. Gleyber Torres this spring, 242 batting average, 11 games, didn't have a single walk. So sometimes spring is a really fickle thing to try to translate into the season.
I'm looking at a spray chart, and I'll show you, Jake, so we can be looking at the same thing.
Sure.
Every ball he has put, this is all balls put in play by Gleyber. Every ball he's put in play to left field has been a hit. He has not hit one over the third base and shortstop's head that got caught
In the air.
Yeah, every ball in the air to left field has been a hit.
Yeah.
To right field, you got outs. A dead center, you got some hits. But he has no hits on the ground to the left side. Stuff.
All the analytics guys say hit it in the air. I have one other fun fact that I heard watching the TV last night.
Who said it?
I put on, for the first time this year, I put on MLB Network late night.
Yay.
Just because I didn't want to watch another full game, but I wanted to get some highlights from around the league.
Yeah.
It was late. I was tired. They were talking the Yankees. They were talking Gleyber Torres and his hot start. They talked about his 5 stolen bases. And every stolen base this year from Gleyber has come when they've had the lead.
Who?
I think every attempt has been when they've had the lead.
Interesting.
So I thought that was a fun little anecdote that Gleyber's got a little.
They said that on MLB TV?
MLB Network, yeah. So I wonder if that's part of the Yankee rules, if that's just coincidence so far, because again, it's a small sample size. But yeah, I wonder if Gleyber's running ties to a little greed lead theory.
I like that theory. Or I wonder if there's anything about... He's running a lot. Did he get one yesterday? Does he get credited for a stolen base when IKF got thrown out at third? Or is that trying to advance on a pass ball?
He
Because if
does
he gets
not
credit
have
for that...
No stolen base.
no stolen
Okay,
base on
all
his
right,
ledger.
yeah.
I think in the book he advances on the throw.
Because that would be funny if he got one, because he's had some other wild pitch that counted as a stolen base.
Would be a tough deal for Zunino. He throws out a guy stealing, and
Yeah.
and he's still
Hurt his 50% on that would be tough.
That would be tough.
Yeah. The scorers got that one right.
But a double steal kind of sucks for the catcher, too. Like, you can't throw both out. If you throw one of the two out,
Right.
you shouldn't get caught.
Yeah, the
For
other guy,
a catcher's point of view, is that how it works?
Yeah, I think that's what we just.
I think that's.
Oh, I
what we
thought it was
just
a pass
figured.
ball.
saying.
Oh, I thought
I,
it was.
I think
thought,
that ball actually was pass ball, wild pitch, whatever it was.
Yeah, so sometimes those don't count as stolen bases because it's
Yeah.
technically a pass ball. But say it's straight up into Zunino's glove.
Right.
He pegs the trailing runner.
I bet it would be like fielder's choice or.
Yeah.
It's probably he's safe on the fielder's choice, caught stealing it, whichever guy he got out.
Makes sense.
That does make sense. We got to the bottom of it.
Catchers hate double steals.
On the sweet spot,
Mm.
why not just make the bat bigger?
Okay. Open Boone with that.
You think that's why DJ uses that long barrel?
DJ loves his bat. That's all I know.
Oh, DJ loves his bat. He loves when people ask him about his bat. It's the only question he's proud to
Yeah.
field.
Yeah. He doesn't get why everyone doesn't use that bat. A little perplexed by it.
It looks like Ted Williams' bat.
Do you we have 6 guys we like in the lineup right now. While Gleyber's hot, do you want to test out him lead off and try the DJ slide down theory?
No, I love Gleyber 5, dude.
Okay.
We saw it that one day, and I looked at that line. That's what I whispered into the mic on a recap.
Right.
Like, I like Gleyber 5. I like him 5 a lot. While he's hot right now, I do like him. And I like DJ up top. He's pesky. You don't have the steal factor, but
And he's a good... I mean, Gleyber's on a heater right now. There's no denying that. But I do like... DJ versus high leverage guys late in the game, it feels like he gives you a chance. Like any of the guys that are swinging for power, if a guy throws their best slider, you're screwed, you know?
Yeah.
Where DJ, he's going to battle with those guys, even though some of the high velo, he can get a little overmatched. Actually, this year he's looked really good against the high velo. When that flips over 8th, 9th inning, and he's coming up, I feel like he's going to give you a good at-bat against any reliever.
I also like, now I think I ran into another theory.
Okay, love a good theory.
I think all of Gleyber's caught stealings have been the last out of the inning. So with 2 outs, he's going. Donaldson was up, so he took the bat out of Donaldson's hand. Hicks was up, so he took the bat out of Hicks's hand. And does he have 3 on the year or 2?
2 caught stealing.
So those are the 2. So those might be getting called from the dugout. Make something happen.
Be aggressive.
We can take this risk.
We got to lead. Be aggressive.
The other thing is when Volpe is getting on base in the 8-9 hole spot, or even when Bader comes back in the 8 or 9, right? I like speed on base for DJ because a hit and run is an option. If it's Gleyber, he's still swinging for power. He's putting the ball in the air. But with DJ, he's trying to hit the ball behind the runner to shoot that gap. So you can use that speed that we now have available to us at the bottom of the order if they're on base. So that's why I like DJ in that leadoff spot. And I totally agree with what you said. Like, he's going to give you an at-bat against a good pitcher.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's I think it's been funny and refreshing that Gleyber's been running so much. His sprint speed is 43rd percentile this year, is 40th last year. That, when Volpe gets on, it's been electric, and hopefully when Bader comes back, it's going to give the Yankees a lot of options.
I'm excited for that. When are they coming?
Bader, the last update I think I'm seeing is a couple days ago. 2 days ago. He's taking dry swings, positive progress on his left oblique sprain. A return to the outfield likely occurs end of April if there's no setbacks. We played this game the other day. We said pick the series.
Oh, yes, I remember that.
Should we make Boone pick a series? That's kind of mean.
Yeah,
we kind of hate that.
I would hate that. Yeah, I don't want him to do that because then if someone writes that, that's not good. Look.
Right.
Ooh, Cole starting today.
Stakes.
I like that.
High.
Versus Hunter Gaddis.
5th career game
Okay,
tonight.
so that's huge. I would have loved to win yesterday a little more now. But then we would have had to punt on record day, and they want us to win every record day now.
Mm-hmm.
So that's cool.
That is cool.
Win tonight, win tomorrow, happy record day.
Let's throw it to the Boone talk. Jake, tell them about Vizio.
Boone Talk is brought to you by Vizio. Are you ready to enjoy the 23 baseball season? You probably are, if you're listening to this, to be honest. Why don't you enjoy it on Vizio's award-winning TVs and sound bars at insane prices? 4K screens for under $500. Brightness that cuts through the glare when you're watching day games. I told you guys that early, that 11 a.m. slot clips my TV every time. Got to get in the Vizio game. Vizio has always been the MVP of value, premium performance, and surprisingly low prices. True story. Hopped on with them and gave them this passionate speech about how I remember them in college and they were my first TV, and they were like, hey, stop talking, kid. So head to Vizio.com. Check out how you can elevate your visual experience all season long. Vizio.com. Elevate your AV for the MLB season. There's a link in the description. Vizio's got the TV or soundbar for you. Bong.
Bong.
All right, welcome to episode 3 of Boone and the Weirdos. Booney, you're live in Cleveland. How you doing, man?
I'm doing well. How you guys doing?
We're good.
Good. Do players listen to your post-game pressers? Like, does Stanton know that you've been calling him a weirdo? I mean, obviously the reporters probably go up to him.
Oh, I usually tell it to his face when he comes in after one of the weird homers or something. I'll just be like, "You weirdo." And I think he gets a kick out of it.
What about if you changed his walk-up song? Like, are you allowed to pull pranks like that to like, "'Cause I'm a weirdo"?
You know, we should. And actually, I don't love Big G's walk-up song. Whatever that thing is.
No, keep going.
I don't know. I always say to myself, I'm like, I don't love that one.
Isn't the song "'Cause I'm a freak, I'm a weirdo"? I mean, that describes him pretty well.
Yeah.
It does. It does.
Okay. All right, we'll have that going. Boone, do you remember the first home run you ever hit in Cleveland?
First home run I ever hit in Cleveland. I was probably a member of the Indians.
Yes.
Are you like triviating me right now?
Yeah. Isn't this a superpower you have?
It used to be, but I'm 50 now, so
All
that
right.
stuff's starting to fall off the.
I'll give you one detail. You were playing third base that day.
Wow.
My first homer would have been
0-1 count. You
Tigers?
guys were losing
Tigers?
9-0. Yeah.
Tiger.
Tigers. Yes. You have it.
We're losing 9-0.
Yeah.
Tough day.
Oh, was it a lefty?
I will click his name. I know his name. No, it's a righty.
I don't know.
Bonderman.
Bonderman.
Nice.
I think
You
you
had
did.
it. Give you credit. All right. We opened you up with the fluff piece because now it's just hard-hitting question after hard-hitting question the rest of the episode.
Let's go.
1 game losing streak. Times are low. I honestly, Booney, the number one question that I think we've been seeing and has been on our minds too goes to Oswaldo. His playing time's been a little more in flux than I think a lot of fans expected. Is that just nature of the beast, and there's a lot of outfielders that you guys are feeling out at this point of the season, or is it kind of part of the plan, or I guess what's been tied to that?
I think he started 7 out of 10 after sitting last night even. So he's in there today. He's playing shortstop today.
Wow. Okay. We were going to ask about if, I love that you've run Volpe out there every day so far. Actually, really like it. But we were wondering, it seemed like a day was coming up for a little bit of a rest. Yeah.
So today was the day that I kind of wanted to get a lot of our lefties in and kind of spacing out this trip. So, yeah, I mean, Oswaldo's going to play a ton. So, I mean, he's played 7 out of 10. I mean,
okay.
Yeah, I don't think he sat that much.
I think it jumped out because he sat 2 in a row one day. And also we prepped everyone, that, the over 30 guys were going to get a little more sitting in this early going. And he's an under 30 guy. And his versatility, lefty, righty, every outfield position, it seemed like he would be a guy that would get a lot of run.
There's going to be days where I give him a day, especially against a lefty. Like, even though I feel like he's made huge strides on the right side of the plate. But I still think his dominant side is, especially from a power standpoint, is that left side. But I do feel like the strides he's made over the winter are going to, start to make him more even on both sides. I love the player. He's going to play a huge role for us, but he's going to bounce around. He's kind of that super utility, obviously. And, so he's playing.
I don't know if Cedric, I'm talking about Cedric Mullins into this question. I don't know if Oswaldo's at this point, but you referenced using a switch hitter on one side of the plate. The Orioles told Cedric Mullins, why don't you just be a lefty and stop hitting righty? And as soon as he did that, he became an absolute beast at the plate, and you get to use him more. Like, how does that decision-making go?
Yeah, but Cedric usually also hits 8th when he plays against lefties.
Yeah.
Ooh, okay.
So,
No, I'm just
No,
worried about like any switch hitter in your career, like teammate,
yeah.
player, or you manage. Is there ever that thought like, hey, why don't you just not do the other side?
Yeah, JT Snow was a guy like that, but I think as Waldo is good enough on both sides to keep doing it. Like if you can legit switch hit and like you don't get it twisted on like he's a solid player from the right side. It's just the side he's continuing to improve more. I just think he's like a
Yeah,
power stroke from the left side. I don't think he's all the way there yet right-handed, but he's not. It's not a weak side for him.
no, yeah, more
Yeah.
just floating it into the general question about the switch hitting and all that as
Yeah.
it declines. On the Oswaldo stuff and playing the other, flux of outfielders we have. You saw Calhoun and Franchi getting the same lineup card, which I was going to say, you prepped us and we prepped everyone. We're going to do a lot of, resting on the first road trip, but I don't think I was ready to see, Calhoun, Cordero, IKF in the same lineup card. That was a wild one yesterday, just from, telling you as a fan. It was a lot for me to handle, Boone.
Yeah. Well, I knew, especially with DJ, I just wanted to have him a day down and kind of be disciplined to that. Giancarlo's getting a day today. I knew like in this series, like G was going to either have the day game after the night game or the night game, and kind of looking at the matchups. This is a day I'd most rather have the lefties in. So it's like, let me have G ready for the day game. And that way I can get him in the outfield yesterday. Sorry.
You're good.
You're good.
And that way I can get him in the outfield yesterday into a day off with getting some lefties in there with a couple of back-to-back days of at-bats too. Calhoun ranks. Like he's the real deal as a hitter. There's no doubt in my mind. And then so I'll have Calhoun and Cordero back in there today on back-to-back days in a matchup that I kind of like.
How much?
Willie Calhoun, quick. Listed 5'6", 200. What do you have on that?
Wow, 5. I mean, that's probably dead on. I don't think that's
Okay.
So he's honest.
Oh yeah. I mean, I don't think he's littler than that.
Okay. Well, you have a Willie Calhoun fan. Anytime you got a short king like that can hit a little, just know I will be rooting for him.
Yeah.
You think Alejandro Kirk's an honest 5'8"? I don't.
Well, maybe we'll go back to back with Calhoun and Alejandro when we play them.
If Kirk's catching, make sure you start Calhoun or at least get a pinch hit so we can see that shot of them standing next to each other. The people kind of need to know.
Yeah, exactly. That's a good point.
Do you with Bader coming back soon and getting reps and knowing there's a roster crunch coming in that, how much does that go into the lineups where you're like, hey, before one of these guys has to get optioned or DFA'd, depending on their availability there, like, should we give them run? Or is that, or when do you start thinking about who's going to get off when Bader comes back?
When you get immediately toward that, because you start making those plans now 2 weeks ahead, and and the schedule and the baseball gods start laughing at you because they'll throw another curveball at you the next day to where you're factoring in the wrong thing. So that'll be as we get close to Harrison being back, what we have to do.
I think I got one last outfield thing, and then maybe we'll head towards some pitching. Franchi Cordero puts together a couple big games. Always been an exit velo king, fun name. When Franchi has a couple big games, do you see a couple of the analytics guys walking around a little taller, kind of like beating the chest a little bit?
No, because I don't think that's necessarily an analytics one or anything like that. I mean, Franchi's a talented guy, so I think he's kind of one of those guys that everyone from a scouting lens to an analytics can acknowledge, like, okay, this guy's one of those guys with talent and big pop and big power. Can he get it out at that major league level and become a major league regular? That's the remaining question out there about him. So, no, I'm just excited for the player that he's come in and impacted us and been a key figure in a couple of important wins.
Let's go to pitching. I want to talk about like Clark and kind of so last year we knew he struggled against lefties. It was no surprise. It was a conversation all spring about developing the cutter to get lefties out. His first 2 games. So it's a small sample, I know, but it's all we have to talk about is the 2 games. And he's thrown the cutter a lot to lefties, and it's gotten hit a lot. I think he's got like a 500 average versus lefties or 400, and it's like a 1.3 OPS against lefties in these 2 games. Where in that Baltimore game, it was a situation. I think they were 5 for 8, and every ball put in play was a rocket, like a hard hit ball, 90 plus exit velo. What's that like for you and the staff and Blake when there's a certain thing we're looking at here, and it's a big obstacle because, like you said, with a righty pitch and you're putting a lefty heavy lineup, like it's a big tell for opponents. If this doesn't improve, they know, let's just play all our lefties. This is a struggle point. So, yeah. Can you talk through that a little bit from your end?
So here's the deal. Like, I believe the cutter is for him an absolute weapon and equalizer for lefties. But this all starts and ends with fastball command. He's got to be able to command the fastball at a certain level to be a successful starter. And if he can do that, now all of a sudden the cutter starts to really play. The curveball and the changeup start to really play. But it starts with the ability to really command the fastball. And ultimately, that's the biggest thing for a starting pitcher, too, is once that happens, then it sets up all the other weapons, because he does have the weapons and the repertoire to get it done, but he's just got to get, to that next level of really being able to throw a fastball for a strike when he needs it and can do that. And that way it sets up the other stuff how it should.
And on the flip side, he's getting righties out like crazy. His numbers against righties are really good. Does that make the decision making if we don't see, if the rotation starts getting full and he's still struggling with half, with lefties, is the decision making then, hey, he's great at righties, let's use him for righty lanes against teams like the Blue Jays or these teams that have a whole bunch of righties? Or is it, let's use the option and have him really figure out the lefties thing?
Yeah. I mean, those will all be, we've got a few more weeks here before we start to see, hopefully, getting guys back into the rotation where we're going to see, where that continued development happens, and hopefully it kind of declares itself for you. Again, this is that time where he's got a real opportunity though to take advantage, and he's going to get those opportunities right now.
You got any injury juice for us? I know Bader, I think there was a 7 to 10 days till minor league assignment, said a couple days ago, something like that. I know Sevy had his big throw day, I think Monday, and we were waiting to see how he reacted in Rodon too. You got any new scoops on that?
So Sevy threw a bullpen yesterday, all pitches. I think he threw like 22, 25 pitches, something like that. Went well. So that was good to clear that hurdle. Bader took full like machine BP. He feels great.
Nice.
So I don't know. I'm sure he'll be on the field a lot with us this weekend when we get back home. I would imagine then if everything goes well the rest of this week, I would think a rehab assignment starts sometime next week. But he's kind of done really well the whole way. Obviously now the nature of this injury is we want to make sure he's healed and not in a re-injure situation. Then you're, getting yourself into a predicament there. But really since the start of it, it seemed more severe than all his symptoms and how he's progressed. So we've been pleased with that. Rodon, he had some back tightness, so it's kind of delayed his next live, which was supposed to be kind of yesterday, today. So it's probably going to be a few days. Elbow wise, he's doing great. So we'll see how the next couple of days are there. But we're getting there.
Okay.
Trevino threw a bullpen the other day. He's doing well. Canley's into his throwing program now. He hasn't got on the mound yet, but he's well into his throwing program, and things have really started for him the last 2.5 weeks. It's really started to go well for him after that month of March where it was just really slow. He couldn't get over the hump, but now he's really starting to trend well.
Awesome.
So I'm excited when all that stuff's, I just, sometimes there's dates thrown out and I'm like, I don't know, I'll wait. Cause last couple of years, it's like, you just never, like you're saying with the decision, you just, on the flip side, you never know what's going to happen with the current roster, injuries there. It's like, let's wait and see. Not to be like negative. I just don't like getting myself overexcited because if we get half of the guys you just named back, it's going to be pretty fun, I think.
Let's aim for all of them back.
Well, yeah. By playoffs, I'll take all of them. Can I talk about one like move? Can I like backseat drive or Monday morning quarterback with you? And just the pinch hit for Franchi in the Baltimore game.
Game one.
Now, I know you're thinking there, or at least I can get into your mind about the thinking there is, in my mind, you break down pinch hitting a little bit like, do we want, some patience and a base runner, and then Hicksy gets the tap? Or you want a ball in play and runner on third, no outs, or less than 2 outs, you're a ball in play. So I capture ball in play pinch hitter, right?
Mm-hmm.
But how much goes into that? Like, there's 2 at-bats here. Just for this moment, which I forget the scores, down 1 or is it down 1 or tied?
I think we're up 1.
Up 1. So there's 2 at-bats coming up, and the game can look different in the second at-bat. So, if I was to give you my opinion, which I know you don't need to regard or hold high in any way, I like the move if it's the last at-bat of the game in a close game, but knowing you got another one and Franchi hit a 3-run shot, because in your head, I'm guessing you guys make the moves and you go, this is going to work. But how much do you have to think, well, if it doesn't work, what are we left with? No.
Actually, you make the move and it's probably not going to work.
Okay. All right. So that is part of the thought process.
70% of the time, it's not going to work. Right?
Yeah.
You're trying to improve your chances 3, 4, 5%. So, 70% of the time, it's not going to work. Maybe it's 73% of the time the other way, sticking with it's not going to work. So it's hitting, it's failing proposition.
Yeah.
Okay. So the safe thing is always just let's go with the slightly less matchup that we like because the guy, hit a homer. So, we're winning at the time. So we feel like we're getting a little more athletic in the field too, in the situation. And, for as much as I know people love to pile on IKF, the guy has been a 290 hitter the last 3 years with runners in scoring position. And he does put the ball in play. And for as much as we like to pound on him, that's real.
How much
that's
is
real? That's been here. Too.
That is real. He's a above average contact bat, and a ball in play there helps. I think it was pop up to the second baseman.
Pop up.
And then, he's looked great in center, by the way. So I know we've had our times last year where we were tough on him, but that part of it adds up.
How much does the human element?
But I will say that stuff that did factor in, and I believe the matchup was versus Kalum, who's not a wipeout lefty. He's more of a neutral.
Yeah.
I mean, tougher on lefties. Like you want a righty up there, but it's not an overwhelming one there. But I liked it with the lead, ball in play. We're going to get more athletic. But I hear you on the next at bat because that does factor into the equation a little bit. Like we're down here. What incremental, gain are we gaining? Knowing this might come around again. That's always the rub. A little bit too, like when we're in a big spot, say it's the 7th inning or the 8th inning, and you're in a tie game and you're pinch running for Big G, knowing that at bat may come back around again. That's the rub, and sometimes you got to take your shot when you have it to put something away.
And you got, and then you're benching the potential pop of Franchi there in the next at bat, but also the human side of it. I think that's where fans always get interested, and maybe we play this hand too much. We're not in the clubhouse. We don't talk to the guys, but the human side of, all right, we're taking this guy out. We got to go tell him he just hit a home run. He's probably feeling great against the team that just dropped him, right? And said, no, thank you. So he's rubbing it in, and you got to sit him. So now his day is half over versus on the other side, IKF is now pinch hitting's really hard. The numbers on like the average pinch hitter fails almost 8 out of 10 or 8.5 out of 10 times, where like the human element is a little bit like, well, there is good mojo with the guy who just hit a bomb against a team who said no to him, and potential like giving a guy a tougher task. How much is that playing? Because fans, I think, want it to play in a lot.
It does play in, but you also look at hundreds and hundreds and years of, intel too, that tell you that it doesn't play in that much, right?
Okay.
It doesn't. It's that needle is marginal. The other thing I would say to you is Franchi Cordero, who's bounced around for a few years, all of a sudden just has hit a couple big home runs against his former team and helped us in winning situations. Like, he's also in a pretty good spot.
Yeah.
And now I'm taking him out of maybe something that's not such a great matchup. And he's sitting over there feeling pretty good about himself, knowing that he's carving out a little bit of a role for himself with the New York Yankees, where a week ago he was, in limbo in spring training with the Orioles. So I think you're also getting the guy out of there in a position where he was set up to be successful and feeling pretty good about himself as a real contributor for us right now.
So I guess follow up on that, the Sunday game, almost a similar situation comes up. You guys are up Fortitude, and Franchi against Colombe. Is it just kind of like you're saying, in baseball, the odds are always against you? Is it like, hey, game one, we flipped that coin, it didn't go our way? That, well, let's try the others.
Just went with my gut and my feeling.
Yeah,
okay.
Joe Torre would have done that, Yeah. But no, seriously, in that Friday game, is it just like, well, let's let Franchi get the at bat against the lefty? I'm genuine question.
Yeah, it might have been slightly differing circumstances based on someone being available or not available. So I forget exactly, but look, it was close for me on both days,
right.
Frankly. It was close on both days for me, one way or the other. But again, you guys got to always realize, anytime, the easy thing sometimes is to not pinch hit for anyone, right? Because you don't rough, and because pinch hitting is ultimately, it's a failing, hitting's a failing thing. So chances are it's not going to work. It doesn't mean it's not the right decision.
Okay. We're a little misguided sometimes. That's how this all started,
That's right.
Hunter Gaddis today on the bump. This is a pitcher that the Yankees, these guys haven't seen, right? Because he's a rookie. I think even before you came on, this is something that Yankees, no matter who's wearing the uniform, and that probably means across baseball, struggle with. You even saw in the World Baseball Classic, Team Japan throw a guy that wasn't in MLB just because they knew MLB hitters had seen Darvish and Ohtani before. So I have a bunch of scouting report tips for you.
Thank you. Let's go.
Yes.
I'm going to write these down.
With runners on, he's not good last year in the minors. So
then get on. We need to get on.
Yeah,
base
if you could have someone Roger Dorn it and just lean into one, or whatever you need to do, get on base. He had a 346 on base percentage against when there was a runner on. So you just got to rattle him a little bit.
All right, let's get on.
All right.
Get on.
Lefties, if it's a 1-0 count, a fastball in the zone's coming. He's 9 out of 10.
Okay.
This season. So just let Rizzo know if he misses on the first pitch, he's coming with a fastball in the zone on the second pitch.
Okay. Noted.
And then he doesn't throw balls. So I would attack early because his fastball is getting clobbered every time he's in MLB, and he hasn't had a 3-0 count once this season. So let's just
I'm
swing
just
big
so
at the
glad you
fastballs.
didn't say. I'm just so glad you didn't say right there in the MLB. That's
Well,
one of
I'll
my
say that
discretion.
sometimes, but I did it well this time. Trevor gets mad. Plouffe gets mad at me when I say that too.
He does.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he doesn't like that
Drives
either.
me nuts. That and RBI.
Yeah.
Oh, Jake's not
It's
big
hard.
on that one.
But I'm the other. It's RBIs.
I think it in the English language, and again, the fact that I'm explaining
I
the
know
English
it's
language.
In the English
Probably
language. Don't be
but
careful,
damn it,
Jake.
RBIs are RBIs. Period.
I think it works. Like, I think the nerds got that one wrong. They fought it's RBI for years. Like, no,
Well, if
RBIs
anything,
works.
it should
You're
be
an RBI
RBI.
guy.
No.
It should be RBI, right? If you're going to get
Runs
real
batted in.
technical
Yeah.
about it.
Yes.
RBI?
Ribbies.
Stakes.
Yes.
RBI.
Yes. Okay,
The
so
way
now
it is.
you have the scouting report, and I'm excited that you put all that in motion. It's based off 2 games.
You didn't look back in it last year or dive into the
Well,
minors?
last year the runners on base is from last year, but it's a lot of AAA, and the 4-seam fastball has been getting crushed. And he doesn't throw; he throws strikes. So just swing big. I'll let any fans listening. I want to swing early approach. Everybody do Gleyber today.
We've been good, aggressive early in the zone, early in the counts with all our guys. That's been one of the things I think's been really exciting early on is how aggressive the guys are being, yet also still their DNA of patience showing itself as at bats unfold. So that's been a focus of ours, and the guys have done a really good job of that.
Volpe faced him last year in AA. Actually, he went 1 for 3, hit all the balls hard, but he's not playing today, so I don't need to tell you that. Yeah,
I'm not playing today.
Is it, I guess, little one, Volpe, he gets the first off day today, and, it's 2021, so it's more so mental rest that I'd have to assume. But do you tell him, like, hey, be ready, kid, we might need you to run, or is it kind of a little bit of...
He's ready.
He's ready.
Okay.
But yeah, no, he'll be in play for something. We're in a tight one late, like any situation. Yeah, he'll be in play today.
You think he spikes on first inning in the dugout?
I do.
Okay. Do you like that if you see that?
Yeah, I'm good with that. We
Okay.
need to be ready when game starts.
Would Gardner on off days, would he like go
certain-
change?
Who? Gardy?
Yeah, like would he go change in the 6th inning and like walk out like stomping his cleats, just clack clack, just so you could hear it?
No, cleats on from the start.
Okay.
I'll tell you, DJ, whenever I give him a day off, he's like cleats on, batting gloves on, 15 minutes before the game, like beating all the regulars out there still, like doesn't know what to do with himself.
I feel like Judge rubs it in. I think he's like hoodie on. I don't even you can and same with Big G. When you give them days off, they're like sleeping on the bench. And I'm not knocking them. It's funny to be like, oh, he's off. Like, he's taking a day.
Yeah, but they know they may have a big one late.
Yeah, that's true. Do you know that Gleyber hasn't hit a pop up yet? You keeping track of pop ups outs?
I don't love that you just said that.
I knocked on the table.
Wow.
You can't say I knocked on the table right when I said it.
Oh, you did?
I did.
Right.
So we're fine.
But I'm just excited about what he's throwing up there, game inning, at bat after at bat. He's been locked in and just really good at bat. So just keep doing that.
Fun to watch. So I guess we're thinking DJ at third, Judge in center, Rizzo at first, Gleyber cleanup day at second, Calhoun at DH, Oswaldo at short, Trevi catching, Franchi and Hicks.
Yeah, that's you didn't quite get the order right, but you close.
Damn it.
But yeah, those are all the participants.
Okay.
And if I had something wrong, what would it be?
Did he get the positions right?
Yeah, I think you did actually.
Cool.
I was paying attention.
You pretty much nailed it.
Okay.
I think Hicks is in 9th.
Yep.
Is that a mental thing? We saw Posada, we saw A-Rod, and Torrey did that, and it was kind of like, don't do that. And is that like does Hicks not want to go all the way down there, or is that just lineup, matchup, ability, what they're bringing to the table?
No, it's also I value the 9-hole a lot as a guy that can get on base
To turn it over?
the lineup.
ahead of our big boys. So that's Hicksy's biggest strength is the ability to get on. So I like him there flipping that thing over. It's why I like, as much as I'm have Volpe down there, kind of to start his career. I also really like him because his DNA is going to be get on base, control the strike zone, and obviously his speed. So that spot in the order I really value ahead of our big boys, especially the way they're swinging the bats.
Is the hit and run going to come back? Like, it's, kind of went out of favor for a while, but we were talking earlier on this episode. If Bader and Volpe are down in there in the 7, 8, 9 area, and then DJ's leading off, and that's a hit and run swing with speed on the base. I'm excited if that happens. Lineup-wise.
I don't know if it'll come back like maybe you're talking right now, but there are matchups with, and not necessarily the guys you mentioned, but a few guys on our team that I like it with, with some ground ball guys, sinker guys that I like to do that. And I don't know that is any more this year for me. So many guys now are so many just swing and miss guys as opposed to when I played where it was more in play all the time. So it's there a little bit with certain matchups with a few of our guys, but I don't know necessarily more.
Okay. All right. I'll kill that dream.
Cool.
Yeah. I think come playoffs, you use it once, and I'm going to be very excited.
I probably use it sometimes and you don't even realize it.
Okay.
Whoa.
That's exciting. Like I said, just give a little nod in the post game, and I'll figure it out.
All right.
All right. Cool. Thanks, Booney. We won't take up any more of your time. I appreciate it.
All right, guys. Have a good one.
Let's go win this series.
Seriously.
Yeah.
Booney.
See ya. All right. There you have it. Booney. The Boone chat. Boone talk. Talking the Boone. what are we calling it?
Boone chat.
Oh, I should play Boone, Boone, and Boone with him at one point. Oh,
yes.
That's great. I should play that.
Yeah.
Okay.
That feels like a mid-May.
Hey, you got to say, Jake, 3 episodes now. I very excited and happy with the conversations around all of them.
Yeah, man.
He's been very open, very deep into like baseball weeds. As just me, this could not even go out to an audience. Like I'm thoroughly enjoying chatting with him.
You diving into AAA scouting on Hunter Gaddis. That's your sweet spot. And the fact that
he texted me halfway through, like, this is actually
the
good.
fact that Boone, he didn't do that. The fact he's drinking it is a lot of fun. And this post game is brought to you by DraftKings Sportsbook. Baseball season is rolling. Make sure you guys are with DraftKings. And right now, $5 pregame moneyline bet gets you $150 in bonus bets if your team wins. So join in the big league action now on DraftKings Sportsbook. Download the app, sign up with code YANKS. New customers can bet just $5 on any pregame moneyline and get $150 in bonus bets if their team wins. Only at DraftKings Sportsbook with promo code YANKS. What else did you like there, Jim?
Just all of it. I mean, he had no idea about the pop-up thing, and I feel like I broke his spirit a little, but I did not.
And he spun it back in you, which was a little...
It was great spinning.
Was
he got
tough.
the Bonderman correct.
Yeah.
I was very impressed. I didn't see that you were doing the lineup stuff on our sheet here.
Yeah.
Jake and I have a shared sheet. We type. It's secret typing. You guys don't know about it.
We'll open it up to the public.
But that'd be funny. But great job. Because I didn't do that with you.
Yeah.
That was all you. You figured out the lineup.
It's so much easier to play guess the lineup with the manager telling you who's in and out.
Yeah, when he I did write a lot of lefties and no Stan.
I think I screwed up. I think I had Trevino above Franchi, or I had Franchi below Trevino. I think Franchi jumps in. Actually, I don't know. Trevino was as high up as he's been in the lineup yesterday, but they're also stacking lefties, so I'm actually coming back on that.
Okay.
But, yeah, I mean, it's also a slight bummer when you're like, Stan's getting the day off, and you're like,
yeah,
I like him a lot. But
I like him a lot.
Still early.
With the Oswaldo stuff early.
And Oswaldo at short.
He was a little genuinely like, I've played him a lot. So he just might view him still as a more utility than frontline starter. Because I think in his head, he's like, I've started our super utility 7 out of 10 games. That's a bunch. But in our fans said, we're like, hey, this is a guy that should be running every day. Like he should be in the Rizzo, the Judge, the Stan. Like get him run.
Or I mean, I think there's also an age thing here that we have him closer to like Volpe.
Yeah,
it's like he's young. Like he doesn't need rest days. Like
yes,
I understand if you play some matchups, but
and I don't think they're rest days. I think they're more matchup days because
Yeah.
he's saying the righty-lefty thing.
Yeah, which I don't know. I mean, we talked about it. I remember we talked about it in his PPP, and you can kind of see it at the dish. He feels like more of a threat from when he's hitting lefty. But at the same time, like the stats versus lefty, so far in his major league career, which is only 35 at-bats, Oswaldo's a 286, 333 on-base guy, but there's less pop. So I don't know. I guess the Yankees fans and ourselves are kind of like Oswaldo's an everyday guy, but I think it also tied into...
just brings good vibes.
He's great vibes. I think it ties into the other question that got brought up of, Bader will be coming back at some point, so I think they want to see as much Willie Calhoun as they can, as much Frenchie Cordero as they can.
I believe him when he says that does, like, because he had, halfway through the question, he had a visual reaction like, no, dude, like, we
Not
can't,
that far in
we
advance.
can't think that far. Like, I do kind of believe that
I
when that
believe-
happens, I think Cashman and them might be, like, helping, but in his mind, I think that I do believe him there that they wait, like, day out, day before, because you never know.
Oh, I fully agree on that, but I think they get as much data as they can leading up to that. So if the option is playing Oswaldo Cabrera, another game, or it's a decent spot to see Willie Calhoun or Franchi, at this point, they wouldn't want to see them because they're going to have to make a decision on them. So the more results they have, when that decision does come, if it comes via injury or however,
I have a question.
then you have more. What's your cue?
Last question. I want to see if I interpreted something right.
Okay.
You had Hicks batting ninth, right?
Yes.
I said, I think Hicks isn't ninth.
Right. That's what. So you guys had a little miscomm there.
Yeah.
Because you thought the mistake was Hicks batting ninth, and he said no. He likes Hicks ninth.
So Hicks
'cause he's
is
a
batting
flip-
ninth. I
yes.
thought he confirmed that Hicks wasn't batting ninth. That's what you had wrong.
That's what you thought was wrong.
Kyle's.
But-
Do you remember?
But then he talked about how he likes Hicks nine to flip the lineup.
Then Jake came back with so Hicks 9. We like that, or one of you said it, and
Yes. So
confirmed
the way I heard that was I said the one thing you have wrong is Hicks isn't ninth, and he said yes, and I said, is that be a mental thing? You don't want to diminish him, and I was giving him an out to protect Hicks, and instead he answered it, no, it's more because we value the 9 spot, like a slight at Hicks. So I got to listen back.
Yeah,
That's-
no, he was saying a la Volpe batting ninth. They like Hicks
because
batting
Hicks
ninth.
gets on base.
Yeah, we'll
of
see the lineup. I
better
believe he said he's
speeds
not
in the
batting
team.
ninth. Because I think my
But
interpretation.
then what was the whole speech he gave about
think it
Hicks
was-
batting ninth and how they value that?
He
didn't
talked
say.
about liking Hicks
He
being on
thought
base.
it was another
when we go back
knock.
to the top.
I thought he was not. Like, I interpreted
Okay.
it as a knock. Like, no, we value the 9 hole.
No, I guess we'll see when the lineup comes out, but he was saying how Hicks' best asset is how he gets on and how much he likes flipping the lineup.
Yeah, I thought he was saying.
If Hicks is in the 9 spot, then yes.
I think
If
you
Hicks
got. I
isn't-
think there was a slight.
I think you were
communication-
saying is the 9 hole a knock, and he was saying no. I really value the 9 hole position.
Yes. So if Hicks is not in the 9 hole, that's kind of a knock.
right, but
Which I opened the conversation with.
I think it's a win-win for him because the 9th hole is the 9th hole, but also Hicks is there. His skill is on base. So
Yeah,
the
I'm
9th
under
hole,
the assumption he's not in the 9 hole. I thought I said Boone. He got the 9 hole wrong, and he said yes.
yeah,
Kyle heard that too, right?
I believe there's a slight miscomm between you guys somewhere in the middle there, but I guess we'll see when the lineup comes out.
Yeah.
2v2 right now.
Run it.
Go Yanks. That's the show. Thanks, guys. Subscribe to the channel. We appreciate you. Go Yanks. Tell them, Grams.
Go Yankees.
Like, subscribe, preview. Buy a shirt. Buy 2 shirts. Pet your dog. Let your cat loose.